In the middle of a crisis, the person you care about most is often the person you start pushing away. This happens because you convince yourself you've become too heavy to carry. You watch your friends or your partner and decide that you are difficult to deal with, and that distancing yourself is the only way to keep them safe. You start believing that by withdrawing, you are shielding them from your problems. But the result is that they lose you anyway, suffering the very separation you were trying to prevent. This pattern typically follows a sudden disruption. A business fails, a career path ends, or you find yourself on a timeline you didn't expect, feeling unsure of who you are supposed to be. There is a difference between needing temporary support for a specific problem and being a permanent weight on everyone around you. Fear acts as a bridge between these two concepts. It pulls the reality of needing help toward the fear of being a burden until they merge into a single image in your mind. This feeling of being a burden creates an illusion that sabotages your support systems at the exact moment you need them to stay intact. The shift starts when your roles vanish. If you've built your identity as the provider or the person who has all the answers, losing that function feels like losing yourself. This dashboard shows how we treat relationships like spreadsheets. We track our value using productivity, income, and achievements. When these numbers crash, we assume our total worth follows. But when output metrics disappear, your inherent worth remains steady. The confusion comes when you look at a difficult period in your life and conclude that you have become a difficult person. Measuring your human value by your output ensures that you will feel worthless the moment your capacity is diminished. Once you feel worthless, your brain begins making a prediction error about the people around you. This logic flow illustrates the projection. You take your internal feeling of inadequacy on the left and map it directly onto your loved ones on the right. You assume they feel burdened because that is how you feel, treating that assumption as fact. To avoid the rejection you've already imagined, you wear a mask. You smile and say you're fine, hiding the reality of your struggle to protect a version of yourself that no longer exists. This creates a limbo state. You put your life and your relationships on hold, waiting for a future date when you are finally fixed and ready to be seen again. Acting on these unverified assumptions traps you in a paused reality, disconnecting you from the life happening in front of you. Relationships thrive on honesty and mutual choice. They falter when one person starts making executive decisions for the other. Deciding that someone is better off without you is an exercise in control. You are choosing for them before they have the chance to choose for themselves. This decision tree shows the alternative. Connection requires you to state your current reality and allow the other person to decide their own capacity to offer support. Preserving a relationship means giving the other person the agency to choose you, even when you feel like you have nothing to offer. Acceptance is the act of ending the exhausting wait for your old life to return. It is a recognition of where you are right now. This new reality might be smaller or less productive, but it still contains valid moments of connection. To move forward, speak honestly about your current state. Separate your worth from your productivity, and give the people who love you the choice to stay. Losing the life you expected does not destroy your ability to build a meaningful one from exactly where you are. Needing support is a requirement of being human. It is never the same thing as being a burden.